We've been tracking COVID-19 data for more than a year now, and a highlight for me has been the incredible job that Starschema has pulled off with Snowflake. Starschema is a company that has curated an incredibly useful collection of COVID-19 related data, and they share it for free in the Snowflake Data Marketplace. Today in the Data Show, we're going to learn from Chris von Csefalvay, Starschema Special Projects VP, on how you can use this data and how they've been able to normalize different data sources and how this has led to thousands of companies relying on it. This is a great example that shows that data not only needs to be collected and shared, but that there are important steps on making it useful. The work that Starschema has done here proves the incredible value of being able to find the data you need in one place, updated regularly, and already transformed according to a common standard. Let's start by asking Chris, what is Starschema and how they got involved in the COVID-19 crisis?
Broadcasting from Silicon Valley to around the world, it's The Data Show.
So Starschema is a data services company. We help organizations use data to make better business decisions, build smarter products, deliver more value for their customers, employees, and investors. We do data science, we do data engineering, we do a lot of data visualization, and we do data-centric enterprise app development as well as managed data services. Most of our customers are typically Fortune 500 companies looking through companies that want to innovate, and we also work with a lot of smaller innovative clients. It's all about innovation for us. How we got into the COVID-19 business. Well, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, everybody was affected, our customers, our friends, our families, ourselves, many of us, and we had to do something. And of course, data is what we do. Data is what we do best. So clearly, that is the direction we looked at, and what we saw was the abundance of data sources, but at the same time, the difficulties that come from trying to reconcile all those data sources, each of them in a different place, each of them with different updates, each of them with their own schemas. So Tamas and I started working on laying the groundwork for what eventually became the COVID-19 data set.
I would love to see a little more of the data that is being shared. So if you can show me a little bit of it.
Absolutely. So we have a very wide array of data in the COVID-19 data set. We have various mobility data providers. We have information from the CDC on projected and actual bed users. We have various data sets on policy measures, including from the CDC, as well as testing data. We include demographic data, which is important for calculating essentially population-related indicators. We collect data from ECDC, which is the European Centers for Disease Control. So these are pertaining to European countries. We have a massive data set that includes individual locations of healthcare provision, including hospitals, pharmacies, etc., all around the world. This is very important so that we can identify underserved locations. One of the things that data can do in such a crisis is show which locations are underserved and which locations are in particular need for additional help. We, of course, collect forecasts from IHME, as well as data from Johns Hopkins, including vaccination data. We have two vaccination data sources, the Johns Hopkins vaccination data and the R-Word and data set on that. And of course, we have data on a range of other things, including policy actions and state mitigations in the US, country-specific data sets, so Italy, Germany, and Belgium, and of course, the World Health Organization's data sets. So all the data is essentially normalized along the same identifiers. So if I just run this query, which looks at which US counties were having more than 1,000 cases the day before yesterday, we can see the country region names are normalized, province state names are normalized. We use ISO 3166 identifiers to help users essentially orient themselves and align data along the same primary identifiers. I think that we also do a lot of data quality checking, and we work a lot on ensuring that the data that is in this data store is up to date, it's refreshed regularly, and is high quality data that people can make their crucial business decisions on.
Yeah, this is fascinating for me. Like I've been working, I love data, so I've been working with COVID-19 data, and I've been going to different data sources and to see 44, more than 40 tables here together, normalized, being able to query them by this using the same standards. That's a really amazing job that you did here, and
Yeah,
it's
we're
available.
very lucky to have we're very lucky to have Snowflake as a partner in giving this project a home. I think it's made all the difference that we that we managed to have a single roof under which to put all of this, and to be able to have customers integrated into their Snowflake-based enterprise systems with essentially 3 clicks
Yeah, and
or
it's
fewer.
thousands of
I think
companies.
it's around 3 clicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to get that now this data live into my own Snowflake account, and then thousands of people, companies are doing it around the world, and you're in the middle of this. That's fascinating. Um, Now, how do you manage to run all of these transformations? Like, can you show me a little bit about the process?
Of course. So one thing that Tamas and I decided very early on is this has to be radically transparent. We're big believers in transparency in these things, and therefore all the transformations from raw data to essentially the output are in our GitHub repository. This is publicly available to anybody. Anybody can just check out what we're doing and how we are arriving at the data that ends up in the Snowflake Data Exchange. So these are Jupyter notebooks. We are, as I said, very clear about how we are performing normalizations and what. So for instance, how we are normalizing individual cruise ship names into particular pseudo locales, or how we interpret subdivisions of particular countries. So we have every single table has a corresponding notebook here. Some notebooks generate multiple tables, but they all have individual notebooks that outline how the transformations are being done. Data users can at any point look at it and decide if this is what they want to be looking at, if this is something that fits their needs, and know what they are getting. So we're not selling them a bill of goods. We're actually show them what it is that we're actually providing. And all of this is, of course, run on a regular basis on an Airflow server that we operate within Starschema. We're quite proficient with Airflow, so that's why we chose it to do the automation. It acquires the data on a fairly regular basis. That's fairly closely aligned with how often and when the individual data sets are being updated.
Nice. No, that's wonderful. Because you're taking this data, you're cleaning it up. Just the fact that each data set names each country in a different way drives me crazy. But once this data has been transformed by a Starschema daily, and you have opened how you transform all of this data, that's incredible. And another part on this equation, getting the data, transforming the data, is making it useful and shaped in ways that companies need to see this data. And what I see here in your GitHub projects is that you are listening to the world on what they need from your transformations.
Yes, we field a lot of comments. We have a dedicated email address where we get information, but we also use, for transparency's sake, our big preference is actually to use GitHub issues. So if you find a bug, if you find missing data, if you find something that you wish added, anybody with a GitHub user account can start a new issue, and we pride ourselves on responding to both emails and issues within 24 hours with some actionable decision. There have been instances where people have requested a new data set, and we sat together and we were like, yeah, actually, I think that's important. We need that, and they're definitely not the only customer who needs that. And within a couple of hours, it was in Snowflake.
Wow. Yeah, that's an impressive response time. And also people need data in this way. Like you're not only collecting the data, curating it, you are also shaping it in ways that people can use it. And you're making the process transparent. And you're making, as this is real data that changes in real time, you are able to respond to the customer's needs and users' needs in real time. That's really
Absolutely.
wonderful. For example, one example that you were writing about earlier was that the COVID tracking project is winding down and that people won't have access to that data anymore. But you already have the solution for that.
Yes, the COVID tracking project, which gave us a lot of data on testing in this table called CTUS COVID tests, has been an absolutely incredible project. It's I have huge respect for Aaron and Alexis, who have run the project, and for their army of individuals who have gathered data and pulled together often very unstructured information about case counts and testing. This was truly citizen science at its best and a great human achievement. But unfortunately, you can't really do that indefinitely on a shoestring budget. So we always knew that there would be an end to how far the COVID tracking project could go. And we have made sure that when they ceased updating at the start of the month, we have replaced every data element that they provided, testing, mortality, case counts, etc., with different tables. So we now have testing data from the CDC. We now have hospital usage data again projected in real from the CDC again, and we have focused a little bit on reshaping data from GHU to provide information about case counts and mortality.
So that's how customers can just change the name of the tables they are querying, and everything else stays the same, like how you're normalizing the data. I would love to know what interesting use cases you've seen around the world from all of these companies using Starschema's collection.
We have seen a lot of very interesting use cases. We have recently seen a fascinating article about how Capital One uses the COVID-19 data set to understand and forecast response scenarios for their workforce. This is actually quite typical. Many large customers have come to us with the need to understand when they can go back to work, when it's safe to restart production. We have worked with small and mid-sized and large charitable organizations worldwide as well. A particular organization whose work mainly centers around a particular region of the earth have been using our data to determine when it's safe to recommence operations in that country, and of course their services there are badly needed. So it's very important that we give that we keep them safe, but also give them suitable advance warning for when they can restart services. We have seen an incredible use of this data from just about every industry sector, and it's thoroughly fascinating for us to see how many companies are making use of it via the data marketplace.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And you're working directly with them too, so you can see these use cases in real time. A really important number to follow around the world now to plan reopening is vaccinations. Can you show me a little bit of how you can track vaccinations in Starschema?
Yes, we have vaccination data from two sources: Our World in Data, OWID Vaccinations, and we have the Johns Hopkins vaccines data as well. These are quite crucial at the moment. As you can see, the Johns Hopkins data is much more detailed for the United States. You can look at doses allocated, doses shipped, and doses administered. And most importantly, what you can see is both of these data sets have an indication of how many people have received 2 doses of a 2-dose vaccine or a single dose of the J&J single-dose vaccine, which is currently the only single-dose vaccine available in the US. So that is the figure that indicates how many people are presumed immune from vaccination. I think this is a hugely important data point. A couple of days ago, we crossed 100 million vaccines administered. This is probably the largest mass vaccination campaign in human history, and we are just so proud to provide the tools to allow individuals and companies and various organizations to track this progress in real time, essentially.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But by the way, Starschema is not only sharing all this data. I also seen some really interesting Snowflake related projects, like the worldwide address dataset, just mapping all of the addresses around the world, and the HTTP client for Snowflake SQL, where I can get any web page content from within SQL queries. And I know that those are not projects you've been working with directly, but Tamash has. And I find it so fascinating that Tamash is on GitHub working on these projects, and also Tamash is your CEO. How cool is to work in a company where your CEO is so technical?
It's very cool. I'm not sure I would want it any other way. It gives a certain dynamism to the company, and Savash is fantastically smart and really good at technology scouting. Multiple times he has just brought new technologies he's seen into the company that we have made essentially a mainstay of our stack. He keeps us on our toes and makes sure that we don't get lazy. I think it's fantastic also because it means that people in various management-related roles, even myself included, don't get too far away from hands-on work. Deep down, we're data experts, and we want to be the data specialists of today and tomorrow, rather than trying to be that of yesterday. And for that, we need to be constantly engaged and see what new technologies are and work on them. And Tamas is setting such a wonderful example.
Yes, sounds like a great place to work, and you're having so much worldwide impact thanks to these directions that the company has taken. Um, Hopefully, I can have Tamash one day as a guest of this show. Tamash, if you're listening, we're
Absolutely
looking out
should.
for
You
you.
absolutely should.
Yes, and so just as a quick summary of what we've learned today is one, Starschema is providing all of these COVID-19 related data sets for free on Snowflake, and everything has been normalized, cleaned, updated, and shaped by people that are using these data sets. You showed me the tables, the queries are there, and anyone can access them and contact you. So if people want to learn more about this, if people want to contact you, what are the best ways to do so?
Well, our website is starschema.com. We have a separate website or a separate link there for the COVID dataset. The COVID dataset is also on GitHub under Starschema/COVID19 Data. I write a lot on the Starschema blog, so you can find me there. I don't really have social media, but I do have LinkedIn, where I'm under my name, obviously. And of course, we are present in the Snowflake and Tableau and other professional communities as well.
Chris Van Csefalvay, you are really doing an amazing job here. Thank you for sharing your work with us and how to do all of this. Hopefully everyone joining us today in the show had a great time. Please check out Starschema. There is a lot of wonderful things happening, not only around COVID-19, but they have a lot of data-related projects, and they can help you with a lot of your data needs. Thank you, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us once again. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more Snowflake content. And if you miss me, follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm Felipe Hoffa, and this was The Data Show.